Hello, hi, I am Astrid, I am Wattle and Wool, and welcome to my new location. I would first like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I stand, the Whadjuk Whadjuk Noongar people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. I just flicked my scrunchie, that was a bit silly. So I've moved house. I'm now living at my mum's house, where I'm planning on staying for almost a year until I leave for Europe, which is starting to weigh on my mind quite a bit. And so there's a lot that's been happening. Let's get into it. First up, what I am wearing. So this is called Jurmala, and I actually haven't written this up yet because there's a couple of teething errors. First up, I do not think I chose the right material to make this in. It is this beautiful, really softly spun yarn. I will put the name down below because I can't remember it right now. And it is beautiful, but it's so pilly. It just pulls and catches. So I'm in a bit of a, if I don't use it, better lose it kick at the moment. Again, like I said, I'm going to Europe in a year's time. And so I'm starting to think about, what do I need to keep? What do I need to give away? What do I need to sell? What do I need to let go of? Whatever. And so I'm trying to wear my projects. You can tell I haven't even, that's really embarrassing. This is done a while ago. But yeah, I don't think this one's going to last, so this might be the last time you see it. I love the concept. I love that heavy cable that runs all the way down the front. That's actually where it gets its name, Jurmala, from. So this is where it gets its name, Jurmala, from the Jurmala River in Latvia. Jurmala coast, sorry, the beach, the coastline. No, it's only a sea, so it just laps. It doesn't actually have waves, which is what I'm used to in Australia. We also went there in summer and it was grey, so I probably should have knit this in a grey. But I love it. I love the cast on. I love the cable. I cast this on while watching Taming of the Shrew at a live event with my friend a couple of years back. So it's got really good memories. I love the concept of the neckline as well, where instead of having a raglan increase, it's more of a dolman style. Like it just increases along the top. So if I hold my arm out in a straight line, all the increases, if you can see them, they're all there. And then there's decreases down the bottom just to cinch it in. And then I did short rows here because I couldn't figure out the sleeves. But the neck kind of pulls. I can't really wear many shirts underneath it because it just kind of is gapey and pulls. And then this pocketing that's starting to happen in here. I don't know if I maybe make it an actual, like a batwing dolman sweater, if that might fit better. But I think, sadly, I will wear it for this one because it is beautiful and it deserves to be shown off. And then I think I shall part with it. So I've just gotten back. I've got my hair all did. This pink is in my hair. It's embedded now, so it won't come out. But I'm trying to go back to this lighter blonde shade again. And this room is actually my childhood room, kind of. There's lots of moving around between rooms, but it has really bad lighting. So I have my trusty ring light just here, so if you can see it in my pupils. I'm not an influencer. I just can't get any other light any other way without it being orange. So I'm hoping that this will work for today, and let's talk to you about some stuff. Okay, so what has been happening lately? I am going, what am I going to knit on? I want to talk to you and knit, but I don't know what to knit on. And there's a few reasons for that. Partly because I actually don't want to start committing to a new project. Do I have my little, yes, here we go. This is in my not even a project bag, which is from the National Opera of Paris, when I was there in 2017. And it was amazing. It would have been 2018 because it was kind of like that time. Anyway, I got put my purse over there. I got this bag because I went to the opera, and I saw the Phantom of the Opera. Yes, Phantom of the Opera. And I just love the bag because it's such a good reminder of my travel. So, what has been happening? This is going to, again, mine really, none of my podcasts tend to go in a normal order of finished objects, work in progress, and then life chat. I tend to just mix them all together. So that's what you're going to get today, because it's just going to come up as I remember it. So I moved house. I moved from where I was living in the centre of the city to probably 20 minutes away, where I grew up. And I moved back in with my mum, which is super fun. So it's interesting. I haven't lived at home in 10 years. So that is a bit of a mental adjustment, I think. It's actually been better than I thought it would. I often joke that Mum and I could not live together until I was 19, and I know it was 19 because that's when I moved out. But so far so good, and I mean, touch wood, she goes well. But yeah, I think it's been really lovely. Just having someone to, come home to and talk about our day with. So it's been quite enjoyable. For reasons that I don't want to go into, I won't say too much about the exact timeline, but at a rather similar time, I also came down with COVID. So that was interesting. I did have to move a few days. I did have to do a few days of pretty heavy physical work, which with COVID is not fun at all. And I ended up, I couldn't even tell you if my exhaustion was from COVID, was from moving, was from the stress, was from whatever else, because it was just all lumped into one all together, and it was exhausting. So that was much less fun, and I did not enjoy it at all. I barely knit because I sat in bed and just rested. I slept when I could sleep. I slept a lot, but there were times when I just couldn't, or even right at the beginning, I feel like I was really sniffly. And I found out I had COVID because my friend who sat next to me was like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if this is the reason? And I was like, oh my goodness, I've got a rat test in my desk. Let me try it and see if it's true. Ha ha ha. And then all of a sudden it was like, they're meant to take like 15 minutes. Hi, Mac. They're meant to take like 15 minutes to like culture or work. And within 3, mine was like 2 lines, you're positive, get out. And I was like, okay. You can see him. He's doing better. He's doing so much better. Mac update will come as well. But yeah, so I ended up, I was like, well, where am I going to go? My clothes are at one house. My bed's at the other. Mac's at one. My medication's at the other. Like I was in the middle of moving and I was so stressed. So I put this together in a night, basically. And then I had just piles of stuff. And then put everything in it like the next day. Thanks, Kat. So it was a bit of a sticky situation. And it wasn't great. But I mean, I did it. I moved. And I feel really happy and proud of myself that I got everything done. The muscle fatigue side of COVID, oh my goodness. And just like the lack of oxygen. I'm a fairly strong person. Like I can lift relatively heavy things. And I don't enjoy it, don't get me wrong. It's not like I walk around, I'm like strong man, but I don't really have a problem with it. And this time it was exhausting. Lifting like an armful of books was so difficult. And I was just noticing myself puffing really quickly. Even now I'm noticing that the amount that I can talk between taking a breath is limited, which is a really hardship for me. A real hardship. So it's just been not fun. But I do feel really good now that it's finished and I feel really accomplished and back in touch with everything that I needed. So that was the good sign. I did a little bit of, as I was moving everything around, I did a little bit of sorting and reorganizing. Like I said at the top, I'm probably going to keep saying this for the next year, so I'm so sorry if this gets old, but whatever. I am going to Europe in a year's time, actually less than a year now. So I leave at around Easter. I will be going to Europe, and the hope is to do Europe, Africa, and Asia all in the same trip. America is less on my radar, although I would love to go. Like, this doesn't say I don't want to go. This is simply I'm keeping my eye out right now. But I do definitely want to go and visit certain places, especially like New York, I think would be amazing. Actually, what I really want to do is I want to go to every single state in America and kind of see the differences. That's one thing I've always wanted to do. And then even if I don't get to mainland USA, Alaska, because it's kind of not, like, it's mainland, but it's not connected. But Alaska and Hawaii are two places that I 100% have to go to. So yeah, so that's my little ramble. Anyway, so because I'm going to Europe, I'm looking around going, right, what do I need? What do I not want? What can I get rid of? And what do I want to keep? Like, what's going to serve me if I go to Europe or if I come back? And so for certain things like my books, I'm just got my books just up here. It's things like, right, do I love these books? If I didn't have them, would I want to buy them again? So there are some books that I only read once a year, once every 2 years, but I read them every year, every 2 years. Other books are by my favorite authors, and I have spent so much money collecting these authors and chasing after these books. And so I wouldn't want to get rid of them because I know that I'd simply go back and replace them. Some of them, like, I'd let my kids, if I had kids, I would literally want my kids to read. So I'm quite passionate about the books that I do have. And so I'm quite happy with the ones that I've got. But it's that kind of process of, like, does it serve me now? Does it serve me in the future? If it doesn't serve me now, do I need it in the future? If it does serve me now, will it serve me in the future? That kind of thing. Ramble. So yes, so there's been the process of my brain in moving in settling in getting ready for everything. So it's been quite a journey. I have been knitting on, this is the Aelin cardigan, the side-to-side cardigan. I have been knitting on this. I've started bringing it into work, and just needing a bit of quiet knitting time at lunch times. So I've been bringing this in more often, bringing it out, even just doing like half a row, because it's all garter, so it doesn't really matter where you stop it. I still know what I'm doing. And that's been really relaxing. So this has become like my car knitting, my travel knitting, my have it in my hand when I need to go places knitting. And that's why my purse is just in there, because whenever I go to the shops, I tend to carry this with me. Or, you know, there's a coffee, oh my gosh, the coffee shop. So one of the reasons I'm so sad to leave my Northbridge apartment is because the coffee shop across the road was amazing, and then the one across the road the other way was amazing, and then the one downstairs was amazing. And so I was very spoiled, and so it made me feel really sad when I had to leave and be like, right, well, now I can't just walk across the road and get coffee. However, luckily for me, down the road, probably like a less than a minute drive, is another beautiful coffee store. And so I've already become a regular there, and I'm loving it. So I tend to bring my knitting and just sit and try and smash a row, half a row even, as they make my coffee order. And so yeah, so I've been loving it. I love having that regular process. So this is the Aelin cardigan. I've been working on it very slowly. In putting away all my yarn, I realized how many advents I have, and how much I haven't used. And this smile is like, oopsies. In ordering more yarn, I realized how many advents I want. So, mum's home. Yeah, so I've been having quite a bit of, what do you call it? Like, realization at how quickly I need to knit and how much I need to knit. But then I keep signing up for more things and buying more yarn. So yeah, Mum kind of made a comment. She was like, you know, you should just stop buying yarn. Like, you should just start knitting what you've got. And I'm like, oh, sweetie, it doesn't work like that. That's such a wonderful thing to hope and dream for your daughter. But No. Buying yarn and then using yarn, I feel like are completely different hobbies, and I enjoy my buying yarn. I also enjoy my using yarn, but they don't always have to coincide. Sometimes you can buy for a while and then use. So I might take you on a bit of a tour a bit later of my stash and how I've organized it. I too tend to organize in the same way, which is nice. So yeah, that kind of helps. I'm so sorry for the background noise if it is affecting anything. So as I reorganized my yarn, I was thinking about my minis and my advents, because they come in minis. And I was like, all right, I want to be able to display them somewhere beautiful. I want them to be, like shown off. So I bought last year, maybe 2 years ago, I bought this jar, which I love. It's so cool. And it was so cheap. It was like super discounted. And yeah, I just love it. And I was thinking to myself, I think I was saying like in the COVID stage, I was like manic. I was like, couldn't rest, couldn't sit down, had to just do. So I was like running around cleaning, running around organizing and tidying and folding. And it was like honestly like a manic episode. It was wild. And I just could not rest until things were done. Now I'm so glad for it, but it was a bit hectic and stressful. And so I was thinking to myself, like when I was trying to force myself to go to sleep, it's like, what am I going to do with my minis? And I've started like the Hexipuff blankets before. Let's see if I've got any in here. I should. Are they down the bottom? Yes. No, that's not it. That's just a thing of yarn. I don't know where they are. I thought they were in here. I thought I put them in here. I mustn't have. Oh, that's annoying. I don't know where I've put them. Anyway, so I've got like the Hexipuff. So it's like a hexagon 3D that you knit and then you stuff and then you close and then you join. And you can make a giant quilt with it. It's amazing for minis and scraps. It's by Little Beekeeper, Little Owl Keeper, Little Owl Knits, something. Again, everything will be down at the bottom so you can find it. And I bought this I bought the pattern, maybe just found the pattern. I don't remember. A couple of years ago, and I loved it. Like, I absolutely fell in love with it. And I was like, right, this is so stunning, and I would love to make a quilt. This is before I realized how much hard work blankets are. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. This is going to be fantastic. And I started it, and then I realized how much hard work it was. And honestly, I'd rather knit other things than I would tiny little Hexipuffs. And so I just kind of stopped, because it was boring me, really. And I think it's one of those, like, so much better in your imagination than in reality. Or maybe the finished object will be amazing, but I am also a process knitter. And so I want the process to be enjoyable and fun, and it was not. So I quickly stopped doing that, but I continued to kind of collect minis. So all of these minis that I'm going to show you are, I think there used to be Knit Crate ones. So Knit Crate used to send out minis with their crates, back before they changed owners. I've got some that were gifts. I've got some that were like sock set minis, for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And yeah, so I've kind of got this whole collection of random minis. And I was thinking, I am super inspired by some people's scrappy blankets or scrappy projects. Two people in mind in particular is Maddie from Mad About You. She has just finished her Advent blanket, and it is beautiful. So definitely go check that one out. Another person is Stitchcraft and Wizardry, or Anna, my friend. And she has been kind of using her scraps to make up like is it the northeast, north wind, north something? It's like a chevron looking blanket. And hers is in a beautiful rainbow, and it's just stunning. But I also want to be able to challenge myself and not necessarily do it in a rainbow, especially as other things I will be doing or am doing are already in that rainbow. So I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm really hoping this makes sense. Otherwise it's going to be weird editing for me. So as I was putting away my minis, I was putting away, like, I had a giant bag of just random minis. And then I was putting away my Advent minis. So I have 2 lots. I've got several lots, but 2 in particular that made me think of this. I have the one from Knit or Dye Oz last year, which I want to do as a jacket, mitered square jacket. And I have the Wanderlust by Olivia and Oliver fibres, which I cannot wait until I find out when the last drop is, because I've missed the first 2 and I am so desperate for this. And I don't know what I want, because I want to get the next set so I can pair them up. And they're just the most beautiful fibres. So I was thinking to myself, why don't I put those in the glass jar? And then I could still show them off. They could still look beautiful. And there would be like a decoration. They'd be functional in their beauty while I'm not using them. So then I was like, right, well, I have to do something with my other minis. I've got to sort out where they're going. So I was thinking, I love seeing scrappy projects, scrappy blankets, and even something like the Knit or Dye Oz, it's in a particular pattern or like a colorway set. I think I've changed it up a little bit. But again, it would be in a relatively standard function thing, set, order, whatever the right word is. Again, the Olivia and Oliver fibres are in a correct way. This one I've talked about before. It actually came in a different order because it came along with the books. So this is the Throne of Glass. I've got my books over here. This is the Kingdom of Ash, the last book in the series. This is the Throne of Glass series. They are beautiful and I love them. Such good reads. And so the dyer behind these, she basically read through the books, found interesting quotes or things that made her amazing creative brain go. And then she was inspired and dyed up each little mini based on those thoughts. It's like this one is the golden couch. If you know, you know, it's the best golden couch. So a little bit spicy. It's good. So I redid these into a rainbow because that's how I would wear it and feel most comfortable with it. Because I didn't quite like the order that it came in, even though I love why the order is the order. I didn't like the look of the order. So I reshaped it into the rainbow that I would choose. And so I was thinking, right, like I'm trying to put these into a rainbow. I'm trying to think about things. I'm trying to set them up. And then I've actually got a finished object that I'm going to show you, and the intended order didn't quite work out. So I'm going to talk about that when I show you that. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, right, if they come in an order, sometimes I don't like the order. If I put them in an order, sometimes the order doesn't work out. Why don't I do random scraps? And literally pull an object out of the bucket and knit it in and see how that goes, because I've never done it before. My little OCD self has never trusted anything like that before, but I feel like it would be amazing and really exciting, and I would really like to give it a go. So I put together 3 different groups. This one is the brights, so you can tell they're all very bright. I don't think that these all go together. I think there would be a couple of different groupings in here. Like you might do like a yellows and greens, or orange, pink and purple, or even purple and green. I think there's different colors that don't all go together. Like this yellowy mustard, I don't think matches all of the like the neon, you know, like it's there's not a good colorway in all of those. And then so that was the brights. And then I put together the darks, and while I like them, so this is kind of like the handful of colors, and I mean some of these, oh my goodness, I just want to squish and froth on them. Look at those. Oh, they're so pretty. And then, you know, with that purple, like that would go together so nicely. But then you kind of add in like this is an old Knit Picks one. And it's that like multicolored, just not sure about how that would go. Yeah, so I kind of, some of these would go so well together and be stunning, and then some of them kind of don't quite work. So these are the 2 like family groups of colours that I put together. But then, again, thinking about Anna's blanket, about Maddie's blanket, they're like this beautiful pinky neutral pastel sort of colour. And so I found a third colourway. And this one I'm obsessed with. So this is, now they're not just minis, there's also some scraps in here as well of old things I've used. But these baby pastels, they're so pretty. So this is one that I'm definitely going to keep, and I really want to make something out of it, and I just pretty much want to put them all in a bag that I can't see. My hair. A bag that I can't see, reach in and pull them out, because pretty much anything I'm grabbing, if I just start grabbing a few, and there's different textures in here as well, but like these, I wouldn't necessarily pair them together consciously, but I like them. Like, I like the way that they would all go together. I like the thought of it. I like the there's like a similar color palette to these, and they all in some way would merge well, and I like that. Even like that one, like they're stunning. And so as I was putting these together, I thought, right, this is definitely what I'm going to do. I won't start it now. I will probably just keep knitting everything I've actually got and keep putting my scraps in here. But I love it too much. So this is going to be one day, a big project one day. But because I've got the other ones, I just don't think I'm really going to use them. And in my theme of, see, it all circles back in my theme of, if I'm not going to use it, lose it, I think I might need to give those away. So there's good quality minis in each. Like in the brights, there are these Madeline Tosh unicorn tails. So these are super bright. These would be so much fun for like socks. So yeah, they're amazing minis. But I don't need them. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a middle of the year giveaway, or if I'm going to hold them until the end of the year when I'm planning my big giveaway. And I'll again explain more about that in a second. So let me know maybe we should do like a Christmas in July giveaway. Maybe that would be really fun, like a midway Christmas in July giveaway. Let me know if you think that would be a great idea, and I'm literally just going to do darks and brights and give those away. And I'm going to keep the little neutral pastels because they're so pretty. What was I just saying? Giveaway. Yes, so I've said it a couple of times. I need to stop buying as much. My mum has said it to me a couple of times. It's still not going to happen, but I need to stop buying as much. So I've made a decision that every time I buy something, I have to give something away. And so I've either got to buy an extra skein, or I've got to, if I get one in, I've got to give one away. So I've got quite a bit in my D-stash section, which is all over there. Excuse the plane, that's helpful. Quite a bit of the D-stash section over there, which I'm going to put up on Ravelry, and I think I've already got a section up on Instagram. I have gotten rid of some stuff. Thank you so much. That helped with my cleaning costs, and all of them were shipped out before I showed symptoms of COVID. So luckily it hasn't coincided, if anyone's worried, which is, I'm so grateful because I don't want anyone else to get sick. But I've got like I'm looking up there because that's where the collection is. I've got some skeins that I'm giving away and collecting up in that. I also have bought a few, or I haven't paid for them yet, but I've ordered them. A few more skeins for some sets. So my beautiful friend Nick, I'm not Englishing well today. My beautiful friend Nick is getting married, and she's an older bride. She's already been married before, so she's like, I want it simple. I want it very easy. And I was like, I won't be in Australia when you get married, and I really, really love you, and I really want to be involved in some way. And she is really crafty as well. She sews. And she was like, why don't you, I don't know, knit me a cardigan? And I was like, yes. So she was showing me the colors that she wants. She wants this like really beautiful peachy, goldy kind of color. And as soon as she started telling me about it, I was thinking of Mel from Three Cats Yarn. Mel is a beautiful dyer, and I find a lot of her stuff to be very elegant. Not sedate, as in like not old person, but simply elegant. Like I look at her colorways and I think that's just really elegant colorways. So I reached out to Mel and said, hey, I want it on like the super luxury base. Do you do this? And she was like, yeah, like I've got this amazing base I wanted to play with. And so I am so grateful to Mel. Thank you so much. So I've put in an order for the skeins. I have no idea how much I'm going to need, but I just ordered like a big amount because either I'm going to want to play with it or I can give them away and they're going to be stunning. So either one. And then I just said, chuck in a couple of extra skeins, invoice me the amount, and I'm happy to pay for it. Because again, the giveaway is the point. And then in the same way, Friday Knits, Phoebe, she has been knitting up this beautiful bomber jacket. Bomber, it's not a sweater, it's a jacket, like a throwover. And it is stunning. So I basically said to her, like, I want to test. She was like, oh, looking for test knitters. And I was like, me. And I basically said to her, like, even if I don't get to test knit it, I'm going to knit it. So please let me test knit it because I'm going to knit it anyway. This is stunning. And I don't tend to jump onto a lot of test knits just because my brain is so full of my own stuff that I don't really jump onto other people's if possible, until it completely blows me away and stands out. And this just stands out so well. Then I was thinking about what to knit it in, and I don't even know how I stumbled across, but Wool and Works. I randomly went onto her website and I saw some of her colours, and she's got one called Fairy Bread. And so I reached out to her and was like, hey, I know you're in America. She just got back like a few days ago. And I basically reached out and said, hey, I know you're in America right now and you're not even in a place to think about, but can you dye me up a set of this amazing Fairy Bread with a random contrast skein, like, you know what I like, chuck it in, and then again chuck in a few more extras and I'll put that in my giveaway. And then she got home and she was like video messaging, not chatting but like messaging each other, and she was showing me the different skeins of what we're going to do, and so I'm so excited for it to come in. She said it was drying on Friday, which is yesterday, so hopefully I get this beautiful set of yarn in very soon, and I'm thrilled because, oh my goodness, if you haven't seen it, go have a look. It is stunning. I think I did talk about this in the last episode as well. It is getting dark in here. Thank goodness for my ring light. Yes, so that is all the stuff that's been kind of going on in the peripheries. So I'm going to be getting in more yarn soon, giving away more yarn soon. I do think the Christmas in July, I think I like that idea. I also need to start my little gnome, my gnome along. I have the yarn picked out, but I haven't wound it yet, so that's what I need to do. I sent like 8 socks or 7 socks or something off to Maddie from Mad About You to crank my socks into sock yarn, and she said that she started the other day. We had like a knit night, Zoom night the other night, and it was really fun. And yeah, she said that she'd started some of them, so I'm really excited to see what happens when they come back. And technically I am cheating because I'm not actually making socks. She is, and then I'm just cutting into them, but I'm going to claim it because hell yeah. So that is most of the things that's been kind of going on, except for my finished object. So I'm just going to knit until I get to the end of the row with this, because otherwise I will get very confused. So in talking about advents and how I haven't knitted up my advents and how I need to be knitting them up, I did cast on the Twisted Willow Yarns Cosy Cabin Advent 2021, and I started knitting that up when I was in Rottnest, which is an island off the coast of Western Australia. It's really close to Perth, so it's fine. And I started playing with it, And I was thinking, what am I going to do? So I had this needle, which is Chalgoo size 9 US or 5.5 millimeters. I need to keep this so I remember to write it up. And I started knitting the brioche. So I did it as a 2-color brioche, which is my preferred. I love 2-color brioche. And I did it where the plain colours were at the back, and then the more tonally, speckly, shifty sort of colours were at the front. I started, I wanted these little flower designs. Oh, that's rain. Yay. I started these little flower designs and started thinking about what I wanted, and then I got up to probably about here-ish and ripped it all out because I hated it, because I really wanted like a beautiful center motif. I wanted it to be nice and simple, because I was just wanting easy knitting. I love brioche and I love these. I felt like the color changes was enough work that I didn't need to do it. One thing I wish I had done, and that I will write in the pattern, is an I-cord cast on, because the edges are I-cord and then I bound off with an I-cord, and I just wish I had that because I feel like it would strengthen it and be a bit nicer. But you live and you learn. So this is the Cosy Cabin Brioche Advent Scarf, and I'm pretty much just going to call it Cosy Cabin Advent or Cosy Cabin Brioche. It really reminds me of being in a cozy cabin and just gently knitting away as it rains, or as it, as I'm locked in. So this is right up towards the end. I put a question out on Instagram: would I like an edging detail? And people were like, well, look at how you're going to wear it. Think about that first and then see. And I was kind of trying it on, but because the brioche is so stretchy, I couldn't get a good idea about how I was going to wear it. Like, it was really confusing me. So then I just kind of thought, you know what, let's do it. It's not the best final yarn to use. I did try and kind of go from light to dark, but as I said before, my assigned planning did not work out. And so it's just cool stripes, really, is where we're at with this one. I do actually love the back. I thought I would like the front more, but I'm thinking that these colours are making me happier, to be honest. But yeah, so with the front, I love this. Love that. I thought this was a lot more plain than it is. I'm also loving how it's a navy blue. It's like an indigo dyed blue, and it's got flecks of white. And then I did match it with the white on the back and this like light cappuccino color. And I also love how, because the back changes partway through the front color, so it's constantly merging, and I like how the different colors play in. So that's been really fun for me, to see the differences. So I did these little buds right at the top. I actually did it and then realized I wouldn't have enough yarn to do them properly. And so I ripped it out and then did it right at the end so as this decreases, I did the increases for this, just because it worked. And I'm really happy with it. I think they are stunning. The ends are still peeking out, but I don't really care yet. And then I did a I-cord cast off or bind off with the backing yarn, which I'm so happy about, because I feel like this just gives it a really nice edge and a really nice pop. So this is my Cosy Cabin Advent. It is a asymmetrical triangle, symmetrical triangle? Kind of asymmetrical, because the curve of this, just with the weight of everything, it tends to pull it down. So it's kind of like a curvy end. I haven't blocked it yet because I literally only just cast it off. I thought I could finish it last night, and then it got to 12:30 and I was like, girl, go to bed. So I woke up early this morning just so I could cast it off. Got almost to the end and then had to go to my hair appointment, so rushed home and cast it off. So it's been 3 attempts of casting it off, but I'm so happy with it. And I just think it is stunning. It is actually quite cold. This house really keeps in the cold, which is why I'm wearing a jumper. And so I've been kind of snuggling up with this and just wearing it. I think this will be the kind of way that I wear it, where it's like the big bit is looped over my arm to kind of keep that nice and warm, and it'll be like longer on my back, so it kind of again gives me that back and that neck comfort. And then the smaller edge will be longer, but I just kind of chuck it around, let it fall where it goes. Even just like kind of, I tend to like tuck my arm into these things and just kind of hold it over my arm. So I'm really excited about this. One of the amazing things that has been happening recently is, okay, so it starts less amazing, but then it ends cute. My school, my heater broke. And so I've been shivering in class, and all my students are, and I have a much more better tolerance for cold than they do. And so it's so funny. So many of them are like from like mountainous countries. So I've got a lot of students from like Afghanistan, and I'm like, you're from the mountains, you should be fine. They're all like, can you turn on the heater? And I'm like, no, I'm from the land of ice and snow. You are from mountains. We'll be fine together. And then the poor kid from like the Philippines is like, please. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like, you're from a warm climate. And obviously like it's all good banter and jokes. So my heater broke, and I tried to turn it on and it just wasn't working. I found out it had been reported and like recommended that it gets fixed. But it was a couple of days. But I'm going to go back on this. It was a couple of days that we had nothing. So one day, one of my students comes in, and it was a relatively cold day, and she is just blue. Like, she has quite dark skin naturally, and her lips were actually going like blue. And I was like, okay, you are cold. And I, at work, always have like a pile of clothes, because that's where I'm going to wear my jumpers. Like, I don't need them at night because I've got a dressing gown, or I've got, I've got, pajamas or slippers. Like, at the moment I am wearing these slippers. They're a bit dirty, I'm sorry, but they're so cute. So, like I wear slippers or something at home, so I don't necessarily need fancy scarves, but I love knitting them, and so when I go to work, I want to wear them. And so I've always got like a collection at work. So this girl was like, I'm so cold. And I was like, oh, hun, do you want me to go and get some of my like scarves and jackets? And she was like, yes, please. I was like, okay. So I quickly ran downstairs, grabbed an armful of the stuff that was on my chair, ran back up. And they all just went insane. So these are like my year 9 class, the class I probably wouldn't expect to be so excited about blankets. Because they were like, we're so cool, we're so awesome. And then, they were like, oh my God, scarves. And even now, like, they'll still come in, and the minute they feel cold, they just run to my corner and grab out a blanket or grab out a scarf or grab out one of my jackets, and they just wear them, and they're so cute. So this one is one of my, actually these two are my advents. This is the Stitchcraft and Wizardry one that is really long and narrow. And then this is the Wool and Works that is a lot smaller and thicker. But the same pattern, just different ways of doing it. So, I've got an idea. Okay, I need to keep this to myself because it might not happen. But anyway, so I started bringing them in, and the kids know that I knit. They know that I've got YouTube. Some of them watch. It's very weird. But some of them found some of my hand knits, and they're like, Miss, did you make this? And I was like, yeah, I did. And they're like, oh, wow, like, it's actually really good. Like, thank you. Like, when I say I'm good at something, I'm actually good at it. And I say that I'm good at knitting because I'm actually good at it. And they're like, yeah, we didn't believe you. I'm like, thanks, child. So anyway, so they were wearing, like, my hand knits. Or some of them were wearing my hand knits. And one of them was wearing, like, a commercial scarf on his head. And it could have very easily been taken as a racist undertone. And I quickly diverted the conversation, so it wasn't that. And so we kind of talked about why it was inappropriate. We fixed it. And another student tried to put one of my hand knits on his head. And Jay, I'm just going to say Jay, because it's not his actual name, but let's go with Jay, Alex screams out and he's like, no, you can't use that one. That's Miss's special one. That was made by Miss. It's really important. Here, you can use this one. And kind of chucks like another like commercial one. And I was just like, you know what? Like, these are 14-year-old boys who God knows what they do. And they're able to respect my stuff and say that this is special or this is precious and champion me and support me with it. And I was just so like touched and just so honored that they would see that as really important, and it was just so beautiful. So that's been something that's been making me smile. And so this I'm going to wear probably in on Monday. And then I see that class as like one of my first classes. So they'll be the first ones to potentially wear my special hand knit that I've just finished. So yeah, so the best place for me to wear off my show off my knits is at school, luckily. And so I'm really happy. Yes, so this is just finished. Now, when I was making it, I didn't know if I would have enough yarn. As it is, just with the way that brioche is, I wanted to cast off on the right side. And so I have a little bit extra, if you can see the stripe, the white stripe isn't as thick. So it's a lot thinner. So I've got this much left. And then for the blue, again, because I had to change up and use more yarn in these increases and decreases, I wouldn't be able to get 2 more rows or even 4 more, which is what I ideally wanted, around with it. So I just broke it off where it is. So I've got a little bit extra, but I was like, I'm kind of playing yarn chicken. I would have lost yarn chicken if I did what I originally wanted. I'm happy I've ended it this way, but I did have this full skein, and this is the Twisted Willow yarn. Now she's from Canada, and this was the 2021 advent, so I got it last year. This was the full skein that came for Christmas. This is her MCN DK. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 240 yards, over 100 grams. And it's in the colorway Spruce. So I was thinking about this and I was like, I wonder if like I put it on here, but it would have been that extra color and it just didn't make me happy in that. And then Alec, who is my ex-partner, he and I are still good friends, which is amazing. I'm so glad that we've managed to kind of protect our friendship. But he is heading, 2, 4, 6, 5. He is heading to America at the end of the year. And I was thinking I would love to make him a beanie because he loves my beanies and he always supports my work. And of course, when someone's knitworthy, you want to knit them all the things. So I said to him, what kind of thing would you like me to knit? And he was like, look, I like them really simple. You know what looks good on me. And we've had conversations before about how I don't like him wearing blue because his eyes are the most beautiful piercing blue and I want them to be standout. And if he wears blue, I feel like it dulls them a little bit. So I like putting him in green. And so I was thinking about it and I was like, this is the perfect green to really make his eyes pop. Plus, it's a DK, so it'll go up quick. And also, it's like this really nice feel, so it'll be soft. He's got a bald head, so it'll be soft in his head, but I can do like maybe fun textures. And then I've been obviously in love with this brioche idea. And then the bomber, this bomber.com, the sweater by, or the pullover by Friday Knits that I'm going to be test knitting is like a fisherman's rib. And then I was seeing someone else's stuff that was like a twisted rib pattern and I was just so inspired by it. So I've got like an idea kicking around in the back of my head for a twisted rib beanie that I want to knit for Alec. And he is going to Scotland in a few weeks. So I'm wondering if I have enough time to quickly whip it up. It probably wouldn't take me that long to do a quick beanie for him. Or if I take my time with it, really plan it out, and then do it for when he goes to New York. But I've got some really cool ideas. I'm really excited by them. So I'm hoping, I just got to swatch with it and see how that goes. But I'm hoping it works. So yeah, so that's kind of like about to be cast on because I will be starting it very soon. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I've still got acquisitions to tell you about. Wow. The other thing that I did talk about this last time I podcasted, is the new acquisition that I got from Stitchcraft and Wizardry. This is, oh crap, I don't know, I can't remember the colorway. It's a beautiful navy. And then I'm using the leftover skeins from this top, which is Bouquet for Beth. So this is literally the leftovers, and I'm putting them together into a brioche cowl. That is the cowl version of the scarf that I already made for her, because I want to write it up. So this is so tangled. I don't even know what is going on. This bag has been around with me, but hasn't actually been properly loved. It's just been lugged. And I feel like that's quite noticeable. Anyway, so I started casting on. I did an I-cord cast on, and then I started with the 2-color brioche. So far, I am loving it. It's making me very happy. I have stitch markers to help me remember where I'm up to. And look at this amazing stitch marker. This is the one that I got from Olivia and Oliver, in their Wanderlust. This is their main, it was with their main skein, and it's stunning. I'm just so in love with it. It's quite delicate, so I like stroke it gently. But so this cowl, I'm really excited by it. I'm going to do it quite long and deep, so it'll have some height. But the textures, it kind of, they're like the arches of the Colosseum in Italy. That's what it was designed to look like. And I don't want them to start with the arches. I want them to start like pillars and then arch instead of a little arch. So I think like a capital M instead of like a little m. But I don't actually know if my stitch count is right. I think I've got it, but I'm not entirely sure. The only way I will know is by starting with the arches. But if I start, this is kind of where I'm at. If I start with the arches and it's the correct stitch count, because I can sometimes math, then I'll have to rip it out anyway and start it again because I don't want it to be little arches first. But if I do all the work and then get up to the arches in like the big M, and then if it's the wrong stitch count, I'll have to rip it out anyway to restart it. So either way, I'm going to have to rip it out is kind of where my brain's at. But there may be a fluke where I have actually mathed correctly. I've got the right amount of stitches and the big M will work out perfectly. So I'm just kind of going with the very, very unlikely option C and hoping to goodness that that is what will happen, because I don't want to rip it out because I-cord cast on takes so long. And it's not quite as bad as the actual scarf. The actual scarf was like 400 and something stitches of I-cord cast on, and that took me a week. But I don't really relish the thought of ripping it out and starting it again. So I'm kind of just leaving it there with the hope that it'll work out. So that has been what I'm very slowly working on. I've been really concentrating on finishing this one off. So this has been my main focus for a bit. I do need to choose an election project, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do Alex Beanie as an election project. So in Australia, our federal election, which is for the whole country, that will be in next weekend, and I'm such a nerd. I'm going to be staying up and watching the live counting, which should not excite me this much, but oh my goodness, it does. And so I want to be able to have a project that I will try and smash through in that time. It's generally a couple of hours of like good TV knitting. My mum will probably sit down and watch it with me, so she might have a project that she can do. And yeah, we're going to have an election party. So if you are also into the election, think of me at the election party because I'll be there in my house with popcorn. But yeah, so I want to be able to have a project that I can start and smash and feel good about. So I'm thinking it'll be the beanie. The last thing to show you, this is from Botanic Yarn. Is that how I call it? Botanical Yarn. So I saw her advent and was like, hell yes. Jumped on it because it's so beautiful. And she was doing it as a Kickstarter style. Or if you commit to a certain amount and donate to a certain amount, then it would like go towards her getting a van, like a yarn van, which is just so cool. And so I was like, hell yeah, this is amazing. I would definitely want to support this. And so I did. And I bought the advent. And then while I was looking at her page, I also found these like random sets. So you could buy, like, they were like odd sets or random sets. You could buy them and they would come like they were like, I think it was £50. It was about $70. I want to say it quietly so my mum doesn't hear. But I got 4 skeins of mohair, so I'm like super happy with that. They were kind of like the odd ends ones. So I did open it, but not fully, because I wanted to open it properly on screen with you guys, because that is fair. So I have these 4 beautiful colours, and then I like this edit. She does keep this raffle ticket safe. On the last day of the month, I will pick a winner on Instagram Live to win a voucher for £30 to spend. So I think that's a really fun idea. And then she's got other upcoming events, the advent calendar, which I got, the in-person Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and then some more little cards, which is all very exciting. So these are the 4 skeins that I got, the 4 skeins of mohair, and I think they are delightful. So one at a time. This one is, oh, they don't have names. That's right, because they were like random ones. Even better. Cool. So this one is that peachy, it's actually a really good colour. That like peachy pink. It's a bit brighter maybe than if I show it on this side. Yeah, a little bit better, sort of. So these are all mohair lace weight, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, brushed singles, 50 grams, 420 meters. So this would be a decent amount. These would actually be perfect for the entwined beanie, which is a beanie that I released last year, which doubles some mohair. So I think that would be amazing. And then I feel like these 3 are really together. So especially these two are definitely together. But something about that green, there's like pops there. I feel like that burgundy would just add to it really nicely. One thing that I've been thinking of, because I only saw them like this. I didn't actually see anything else. And immediately I went, these 3 together. So this one's going to go in my giveaway for the end of the year, because I just think, like I said, for Buy Yarn, I've got to give something away. And I think this is stunning. But these 3 together, I really like them. And I've been watching Jess from Jess Knits and Sews, and she is knitting up the Cloudbeaux, which is a Pompom Magazine knit. It's actually a dress. It is mohair knit with 6.5mm needles, so it's super open gauge, and it's actually like a dress, and they've got ruffles, and it's stunning. And so I feel like this would be the perfect Cloudbeaux pairing. So I don't yet want to knit these. I do have everything else I want to knit first, but I'm definitely letting these sit and ruminate inside my brain and letting them think together and show me how beautiful they are and show off a little bit, because these are stunning. And I definitely think that these 3 should be, definitely these 2 but I feel like that's so much more muted, whereas with this one in, it just adds that brightness. So I think this would be a beautiful pairing. So that is officially everything. I have talked about what has been going on. Oh, other thing, Mac update. So he's doing really well. He's healing fine. I feel like because he was limping before, with his sore leg, now that we've chopped it off, which is so sad, I feel like he's just like, yeah, practice for this. Like, I know how to walk on 3 legs. I was already doing it. So now he's only on 3 legs and he's fine. So he's not really showing any issues. Although he is now living with me at my mum's house, and my mum already has a cat. So there's been a few moments. I keep thinking of Shrek, where he's like, "What are you doing in my swamp?" That's kind of the best way to describe it. Where he is very much like, "You never said there'd be another cat here. I've always been the only cat. Why is there another cat?" And she's like, "What the hell are you doing in here, you intruder?" So he's been a bit more aggressive straight up, but I think that's because he is just terrified out of his mind and wanting to be the aggressor so he doesn't get victimized. And poor Cleo is just like, what the hell? Like, no. He's also he's a very fluffy boy and he's a little bit bigger than her. So I think that that might be a bit much, whereas she's like maybe 10. Yeah, she's 10. And she's a girl and she's a little bit smaller. So maybe there's a bit of a difference there. I don't really know. They're both desexed, but yeah, there's definitely, we're kind of monitoring each food bowl and being like, no, you can't eat this because it's the other cats or whatever. So that's been a lot of stuff going on there. But overall, they've been great. He's been pretty happy here so far. And I think that it did help that I was also sick as I moved in. So I really got that time to settle him in and settle myself in, which has been helpful. And then when I decorated this, I put all my plants up. So I've got this was a Peter Alexander candle. Can I show you? There we go. Little Peter Alexander. So now it's a beautiful, I think it's a string of hearts, this one. And it has not been loving life. And then all of a sudden I put it in here and it's going for it. So I'm very excited by how much this might grow. This is my beautiful whale planter, and I just grabbed, I bought another plant for it. I do need to kind of repot it because it's a little bit, it's peeking up top. But even this one here, I've noticed it's really turned itself to the sun. And so all the green leaves are coming straight up. I've also got some more plants over here. And they're all loving this room. So I think it's been a really good move and a really good place to start out at, or to end my time in Australia for now at. Either way, it's been peaceful and beautiful. So that is where I'm at. It's been a very long episode, but I hope that I made sense, really, and I hope that you like what I've had to say. So that will be it for today. If you do like this and you are not yet subscribed, can I please encourage you to press subscribe? I can be found on Ravelry, but don't try because I never reply. But best on Instagram at wattleand.wool. And I'm always up for a chat, and I'm trying to just be